What's up guys, Justin Grunel here with 65drums.com, and today I'm doing a review of the ATV aD5 drum module. Now people have actually asked me to do a review of this over the past several months, and I haven't been able to because I haven't been able to find one and physically play it. But I was really excited when ATV actually contacted me and sent me a module on a loan for a couple of months so I could get to play it. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video or anything, and I'm shipping it back to them after I'm done with it. Let me just tell you a little bit about the module and then I'll play some kit examples later on in the video. So in the box, the first thing you notice is how heavy this thing is. It's like 6 pounds and there is a whole lot of aluminum on this thing. It is very, very well built and it's got a nice look to it. Although I do wish it had a color screen. It's still got that LCD screen that most Roland modules have. Now on the back of the module, there aren't multiple inputs for each individual pad. You've got a snake input just to connect like a bunch of cables to all the pads. Then you've got 2 additional inputs for extra toms or extra cymbals, whatever it is you want to do. Also, there's an SD card slot. Now this is interesting because you save your trigger presets to this SD card that comes with the drum module. Now why would you need to save individual trigger presets for different drummers? Well, let's say you're in a church and you have a bunch of different drummers playing the drum set over each individual week. So the first week you have a drummer that's a really hard hitter, and then the second week there's a drummer that is a softer hitter like me. You need to have individual trigger presets for those 2 drummers because this drum module is not like any other drum module you've played. The velocity range of this drum module is like this. Most of the drum modules are like this. It is really, really crazy. So out of the box, when you start playing it, it's mostly made for heavy hitters right out of the box. So I had to just adjust the sensitivity of all the pads to be higher and adjust the curves to be higher as well. It made me love the drum module a lot more because you can't go from first impressions right out of the box. You need to adjust the trigger settings to fit your drumming style. And those trigger settings are saved to the SD card. So that's nice to be able to do that. And you can actually take that card out, and then if your friend has an ATV module, you can put your card into that module and it will use your particular trigger settings. So I like that feature. Now on the front of the module, they try to keep things pretty clean. There is not many knobs or buttons on this drum module. There are actually only 4 dedicated buttons. You got the power, OK, cancel, and home buttons. That's it. All of the other buttons, their functions change depending on what screen you're in. There are 2 knobs that are missing from this drum module though. The 2 knobs that I really miss are the mix input knob and the headphone volume knob, because there's only one master volume knob. So if you want to have louder headphones, you got to turn that up. Well, the signal that's sending to the mixer is also going to go up as well. And if you want to adjust the volume of your phone, you'll have to actually physically turn up the volume on your phone all the way to the max. There is no mix-in volume knob. So I really miss those 2 knobs. What they're trying to do here apparently is go for ultra simplicity. They're trying to make the software simple. They're trying to make as few buttons as possible. I respect that, but I also wish that they gave you some additional control, because in my mind, electronic drums are more about being able to really, really control your sound and make whatever you want possible in that drum module. This module takes a different route. They just want you to turn it on and start playing. They want basically the module not to be a barrier, something to grab your attention. They just want it to do its job and you not even notice that it's there. So I respect that that's the way they're going at this. There is no compressor settings. There are no EQ settings. You can't even tune the snare or the kick drum up and down. It's just, it is what it is. What you do when you get in the drum module is you adjust your trigger settings. You go in and you decide what kind of snare, cymbals you want, or use one of the preset kits, and then you're good to go. You've got 5 drum kits to play around with, and you can create your own user preset kits. So you can go in and decide what kind of kick drum you want, what kind of cymbals you want, and they are actual real drum samples. You can choose between like Zildjian and Sabian cymbals, but again, I'm missing that same level of control that I can get from pretty much any other drum module on the market. So let's talk about the sounds in this drum module. You've got 5 kits. And the way ATV is selling this is that they're saying if you buy a drum module that has 80 drum sets inside it, you're going to go through them and you're going to decide on 5 kits that you actually want to use over and over again. And they're right about that. Whenever you buy a drum module, you're probably only going to be playing around with like 3 or 5 kits most of the time. So what ATV has said is that we'll get rid of the crappy 75 other kits that you weren't going to play anyway and just give you 5 awesome kits. It sounds really awesome, and these are great sounds. But the thing is, drummers are picky. Some drummers like this kind of sound, other drummers like that kind of sound. And only giving you 1 or 2 kits per genre of music, that doesn't give you much wiggle room for finding the perfect sound that you were looking for, no matter how good the sound is. That's kind of why I like having 80 kits to choose from. But again, they're going for simplicity. They just want you to turn it on and start playing. And as far as the sounds go, these are some pretty good sounds. They are very, very good sounds. They go towards the raw type of sound. You've got Yamaha over here where the sounds are overly processed. They've been mixed and EQ'd and edited so much that they don't even sound quite like real drums anymore. And then you've got ATV over here, which is more towards the opposite spectrum. It sounds like you just sat behind a Yamaha drum set or a Gretsch drum set and started playing. And you know what? I kind of like that a lot because you get this really, really raw, in-your-face sound. And the highlights of the sounds in this drum module for me are the cymbals. They are absolutely excellent. I'd say they sound violent. They're in your face and they catch you off guard. Now this is all tied towards that really wide velocity range that you have there, because whenever you hit a pad softly, not only are you hearing like a soft sound, but you're also, the volume of that sound you're hearing is really, really soft. And to get a hard hitting sound, you have to hit really, really hard. I've never played a drum module that encouraged me to use accents and hit as hard as this drum module does. And again, out of the box, it's made more for someone who's a heavy hitter. You have to really hit hard to get that hard hitting sound. And so just go in the settings if you're a softer hitter and you can make it suit your playing style. But I really, really like having that really wide range of how hard I can hit. It really encourages you to use more accents in your playing style. It actually slowly changes the way you play drums to be more like when you played acoustic drums. It's great. I've never encountered a module that did that. Now on the downside, I think the weakest sounds in this drum module would probably be either the snare sound or the kick sounds. It's not that they're bad, anything like that. They just aren't as good as the high bar they set with their crash and ride and hi-hat cymbals. The weird thing about these sounds is that you're hearing the imperfections of the actual drums. When you're using most electronic drums, you're hearing an overly perfect sound. It doesn't have that gritty realness to them. The drums are way too perfectly pitched. You know what I mean? So yeah, just the sounds in this module are pretty good. The problem is you're only getting 5 drum kits. So if you're thinking about buying this drum module, make sure you listen to a lot of playthroughs of this drum module over and over and over again to make sure you like those sounds, because you've only got 5 to go through. So make sure you love them before you buy this drum module. Now ATV is going to be adding more and more drum sets. These 5 kits that are already in the module, they aren't just all you're ever going to be able to play. They're going to be releasing a brand new drum set on their website later this year. And I've asked them if it's going to be a free download or if you're going to have to buy it like an expansion pack. And apparently they haven't quite decided on what they're going to do with that. But I do like how they're expanding it, and that's really, really nice. Also, they tried to convey the impression to me that this drum module is like the infrastructure. They've set up the groundwork for this drum module. They'll be adding features later on. They'll be adding drum kits later on, either to purchase or as a free download. So what you're getting is not what you're getting. You're going to see this drum module get better and better the longer you own it. So I like that. It's not like other drum modules when you buy the drum module and you'll never see an update ever again. It's not like that. This drum module is expanding. Sort of like buying a laptop and getting upgrades over the years, so it has more and more features. Now the last feature I want to talk about for this drum module is that it can play nearly any pad that is sold on the market today. So in their demos, they literally have Yamaha toms, a Roland snare, Roland hi-hats, a Yamaha crash cymbal, a Roland ride cymbal, a Roland kick drum. You can also use Elise's pads with this drum module, so you can have your ultimate setup. Let's say you really love Yamaha silicone pads for like a snare, and then you want mesh pads made by Elise's for the toms. You can do all of that, and I just really like how you can play nearly any pad in the universe with this drum module. No other drum module can do this right now. The Pearl Mimic Pro is going to be able to do this, but that's not going to be even released until next year. So right now, If you want to have this kind of setup by different manufacturers, this is the drum module to get. So I'm going to play some kit examples for you guys. Here's what those drum sounds are like. So that's what the drum module sounds like. I've fallen in love with that vintage kit. It's just so good to play. You feel like you're playing acoustic drum with this module. There's really no way to explain it other than saying that. You get a feeling when you're playing this drum module. Now, for those of you wondering how much it costs, it's $1,099. So that puts it head to head against the Roland TD25 drum module, which costs $999. And yes, this drum module is a good buy, but you got to make sure that you like the sounds before you buy it. This module has a lot of things going for it. It has a very wide velocity range that you're playing with. You're also being able to play with all kinds of pads from different manufacturers. You can't do that with any other drum module on the market right now. And you're getting some pretty good sounds, and they're going to be expanding either with expansion packs or free downloads in the future. So there's a lot to look forward to even if you already own this drum module. But you got to make sure you love the 5 drum sets in this module before you buy the drum module, because you've only got 5 shots if you're thinking about using this drum module live. I like this drum module. It has its flaws. It's a little too simple for my taste. I think they should put some more editing controls. I want to be able to tune these drums. I want to be able to EQ them and use a compressor on them. I want a mixer knob. I want to have a headphone knob as well. But even with all those things I wish it had, this is definitely a great drum module, and it has some features that you won't find anywhere else on the drum market. I really do like it, and that's my review. Hey, I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to follow me on Facebook. That's where I post all of my channel news, and also Instagram. That's where I post all of my drum covers. 65 period drums for Instagram and just 65 drums for Facebook. And also be sure to subscribe, because I got a new video coming out about electronic drums every single Sunday. I'll see you guys next week.